CVM TV.
It's Tuesday, August 13, 2024. This is CVM News at noon. I'm Nika Lewis. As Sunday's news of a gruesome killing of 8 people and the injury of 9 others spread, shock is reverberating across the nation. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there's heightened focus on severing the link between local gangs and international crime influences. This as the police uncovered several gangs and outside players have been linked to the Cherry Tree Lane mass shooting in Clarendon.
This is an act calculated to deliver the highest level of terror. And that is what made me today convene the National Security Council to discuss a criminal act that would not necessarily attract the attention of the National Security Council. But the nature of what was done, and of course what we know about the connections that are involved in this, would make me, as the chairman of the National Security Council and Minister Chang as Minister of National Security, take a very deep look at this problem of organized armed violence and the role that gangs play in the organization, the arming, and the producing violence affecting innocent people.
The Cherry Tree Lane community has been left in shock and even fear as they grapple with the death of family and friends. Speaking on Lead Story yesterday, Councillor for the Yorktown Division Anthony Davis explains the atmosphere in the community is tense.
For words, I've been feeling the sting of death over and over from yesterday. I was at the hospital when one after the other, the hospital personnel, nurse or doctor came out and announced that one person has passed, and you could hear the scream piercing your gut of parents and loved ones. And 3 within the space of a 5-minute span, 3 different cries of pain. This has, more than cast a shadow, an evil shadow over the community and the division by extent. Its act is heinous, barbaric. The adjectives would go on.
Meanwhile, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the government will be moving to strengthen laws around organized crime and violence following Sunday's killing.
The opportunity has raised the issue again in the public space. The numbers suggest the police have been doing excellent work. Yesterday I said the month of August, 2 weeks, so 45% below and 70% nationally in the island. In the Clarendon itself has been doing some hard work daily. They're on the road 24/7 and the numbers were some 39% behind. But I'm going to advise, perhaps I'd like to take a look at all the legislation we have. We need to strengthen the legislation further beyond what we have done to find that. We will initiate that and give the advice as soon as we have set on that. And I have perhaps I've accepted, but we'll examine all of this because using automatic weapons to fire on innocent citizens is an act of terror. And it frightens the community.
In other news now, taxi operators are this morning protesting after the shooting death of one of their own in Morant Bay, St. Thomas, Monday afternoon. It is alleged a police officer collided with the operator's vehicle. Both the officer and the taxi driver engaged in a physical altercation, which resulted in the driver being shot 4 times. One witness of the account spoke to our news team.
We need justice. Because no justice not down here. We need justice. If your driver looking at the man car and the man talk, you come out and you box the man and the man box. You don't need to give 4 shots. You don't see it necessary. No justice not there. The little young police who just graduate from school and come out and no respect for elderly people. And just feel like they come out and damage people. No come to serve and protect. A serve no come to serve and protect. Not for kill innocent people.
And warnings were belted out to comrades at a rally in the northeastern St. Anne constituency, where Dr. Ryan Simpson will be up against the sitting Member of Parliament Marcia Smith. Adrian Williams tells us more.
PNP supporters in northeast St. Anne are fired up as they welcome the party's candidate for the next general election, Dr. Ryan Simpson. The MP hopeful says the PNP seems like it has forgotten how to win.
Comrades, my problem is, my concern, my fear is with you, the comrades. Because suddenly, it seems like we don't remember how we win. It seems like we've been losing for so long that we forget how to win. Comrades, I want you to remember the days when we used to win, when we know how to win, and stop the foolishness. Stop behaving like how labor rights used to behave. All of a sudden, comrades that talk about how much vote they have in their yard and what they're going to do with the vote. That sounds like you start your party with your vote.
The former Jamaica Labour Party member, stirring further warnings, urges fellow comrades to leave personal feelings behind.
Will PNP win again in North East St. Anne? I believe we will. But it has to be a teamwork to make the dream work. And we have to forget about the personal me and the little thing. Then handout politics. I know what PNP used to. PNP and the handout politics, people. All of a sudden, we start become petty, and we become fragile and sensitive, and open our feelings.
The constituency seat is currently held by the JLP's Marcia Smith.
Financing tertiary education can be quite a daunting challenge, especially for those studying abroad. For Jamaican students at the Howard University, however, this experience is being improved by the university's Affinity Network, which provides financial assistance to students. Speaking on Sunrise this morning, Affinity Network Executive Committee member Mark Frankson says the committee continues to raise funds to assist Jamaican students at the university.
The organization, as you mentioned, does provide scholarship to Jamaicans attending Howard University. We recognize that there was a big financial gap with the increasing prices in, everything. And the devaluation of the Jamaican dollar. Students going there are finding it more difficult to fund their education. And this is full circle for me. Having gone to Howard University, I know how difficult it is to be trying to focus on school and having to work at the same time to fund school.
Yes,
so
we
we
have
have to figure it out.
In a new environment. Yes.
So primarily we wanted students to focus on their education and their academic experience. Howard was 4 of the best years of my life.
Wow.
And we want them to have that experience. So the scholarship was aimed at helping them to fund their education so that they can focus on actually going through school. This is our fundraiser for the year. This is where we get money to provide scholarship for the students for the next year around. So far, in the short 6 years that we've been around, we've provided 89 scholarships for students, upwards of 50 million Jamaican dollars.
Very well done. Very
Awesome
well done.
sauce.
And we gained that money through this event that's coming up on September 21st. It's at the residence of Ambassador Marks in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And everyone's invited to come. Everyone's invited to buy a ticket, to attend.
What's the cost of the ticket?
The cost of the ticket is $250 US dollars.
Okay.
With that, we take a break. More after these.
We needed to raise capital, but our experience with local financial institutions was that they were cautious and slow to act, and interest rates were far too high. We had real concerns about financing our business through outside equity investors and the possibility of interference. Could we get a fair valuation for our business? We had our own ideas about the business and its value. Should I go the traditional route of bank financing, or should I try the Jamaica Stock Exchange? So we made a call and experienced transformation of our business through conversations. I'm John Mahfood, CEO of Jamaican Teas, and we're listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
The world is changing and so should you. Diversify your career and get local and international certification in 2 to 6 months at Distinction College. Start online and face-to-face class in medical assistant, medical lab tech, pediatrics and psychiatric nursing, ECG tech, home attendant, hairdressing, makeup, meal tech, call center, supervisory and events planning management, cashiering, media broadcasting and travel tourism. Register this week and get free subjects and free courses. No subjects required, no age limits. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, Ocho Rios and St. Elizabeth. Call us at 876-356-4167.
Get tiles and get creative with your floors, walls, and all the spaces in between. Our knowledgeable sales consultants are happy to help create your beautiful finish with the latest designs in first quality porcelain, wood look, vinyl, mosaics, natural stones, and countertops. At Creative, you will get every tile you need for your residential or commercial projects. Creative Building Finishes, your one-stop shop for everything tiles. Visit our showroom at 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, it's now time for our live discussion segment where we'll be talking about the mental and emotional impact of Sunday night's mass shooting in the Cherry Tree Lane community of Four Paths, Clarendon. Well, as you've heard in previous reports, 8 lives have been lost and 9 others sustained injuries during the attack. We are being joined by psychiatrist Dr. Brian Kazara. Welcome, Dr. Kazara.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here.
Most likely, we would definitely want someone like you to discuss this because as a psychiatrist, Dr. Kazara, what do you make of the tragedy on Sunday?
Well, firstly, as a Jamaican, I have to say that this tragedy is one that I think touches all of us emotionally and psychologically. To lose 8 persons in such a tragic way is something that I think the whole nation feels. From a psychiatric point of view, it's particularly distressing because I know that situations like this are usually associated with very serious psychological issues that are oftentimes long-term, affecting the community at large and also the individuals.
In terms of emotions, what are some of the emotions you'd expect individuals to exhibit at this time?
So that's a great question. And truly, there's a variety of emotional reactions that we can see when a situation like this happens. Some individuals will be numb to everything that has happened. Some individuals may be very irritable and angry. Some individuals will be very fearful and anxious. Of course, some persons will experience sad mood or depression. So there's quite a variety of reactions we can see. And also, people react at different stages. So some persons may have an initial reaction, like some of the emotions I expressed just a few minutes ago, or some may actually develop some of these emotional reactions much later on. Finally, some people even feel guilt. Some of the survivors may feel guilt. They may feel there's something they could have done to prevent it, even though that may not necessarily be true.
Wow. Well, in terms of psychological effects, for the adults and for the children, what would be the main difference, especially for those who have witnessed the ordeal?
So, again, that's a great question. So there are a number of psychiatric conditions that can occur when something like this happens. And one of them that we can frequently see is post-traumatic stress disorder. And that manifests differently in children and young